Hey y'all, it's Live La Nina, and I am back with another review. So tonight I am going to be doing another action review. I'm going to stay on the action for a little bit, at least for right now, before I get back into romance and other types of genres of anime. But tonight I am going to be reviewing Sword Art Online Season 1. Okay, so I am still finding my rhythm and kind of tweaking my recipe for how I want to do these reviews. So I am testing a different structure with this video, but again, I am going to try to get to the rankings a lot faster and just kind of overall shift how I do things. So to start, I'm just going to give kind of like a quick synopsis of Sword Art Online. I am only doing a review for season 1, but so this is kind of pertaining to that, but Sword Art Online is essentially a show about a game called Sword Art Online, and it's a virtual reality game. And on its release, the people who decide to play the game, they find out that they cannot log out of the game, and that if they die in the game, they die in real life. So now there's a whole bunch of people, young people, who are stuck in this game, and the only way to get out of the game is for the game to be cleared. So our main protagonist is Kirito. He is a gamer for sure. He definitely gets in there and starts making it do what it do. And then Asuna is a young lady that he meets in the game. And of course, you already know how that goes. So getting into the rankings, our first question for action is, how does the main character balance independence and teamwork? For this, Kirito gets an 8. Kirito is actually going to get an 8 on this because he does both. But what stops him from getting a 9 or a 10 is that he does fall into hyper independent mode. So because of things that happens, he reverts back to just being like a hardcore solo player. And at heart, Kirito really is a solo player, but when it counts, he does work with others. 2, is the story consistently exciting and well paced? For this one, I actually gave it a 9 because this story definitely gets moving. It wastes no time. You go from, day one of them being stuck in the game to 6 months to 2 years, all within 25 episodes. So they were moving quick, and it was always action. Do the subplots enhance the overall story? For this one, I gave it an 8. There's a few subplots in here that definitely help bring out Kirito's motive, and one of those being his relationship with his sister, his relationship with Asuna, and then just the game overall and the feeling of betrayal, that someone would create a game that traps people essentially. So a lot of good subplots that help develop him as a person and a character. Are the antagonists well developed? This one I gave a 7.5. And I do this because we have a clear antagonist and we actually do learn his motive of why he created the game that way. But I don't think that was developed out well enough. We learned that in all of like 2 episodes, really. And I think there was a lot of room to get more into that. But as far as being developed, I mean, we know him and we know why he did it. So I guess technically that's enough, but I think there was definitely more room there. So, how does the main character grow from defeat or failure? So this one I gave Kirito an 8 because a lot of what he does is trauma response. So Kirito starts out as a solo player. He tries the team thing. The team thing doesn't work. He goes back to being a solo player. Then he meets Asuna. And then it's like, okay, team thing again. But Kirito has incredible resolve for beating the game, getting out of the game, keeping the people that he cares about safe. So I think he responds a lot to his failures and he learns how to grow about things, but there is definitely some stubbornness there. So that's why he stops at an 8. But I think he still did that pretty well. So for the final rankings, we have 8, 9, 8, 7.5, and 8, which gives us 40.5, which out of 50 gives us an 8.1, which is pretty good. So What I plan to do now at this point is kind of talk about my dislikes and likes. I want to end on a positive note. So, 8.1 though is pretty good. I will say that I've watched 2 seasons of Sword Art Online, and the season one was definitely the best season in my opinion. Some of the things that I didn't like, I wasn't a huge fan of the animation style, but that doesn't really factor into the rating at all because that's not even a category I rate off of. Unless it becomes too distracting, then I might have to throw that in there. But that his relationship between him and his sister. So I mentioned that was a subplot, and I'm not gonna spoil it, but the relationship he has with his sister, Suguha, who is Lifa in the second game that they play on season one, it is complicated. It's complicated, but I don't really like the dynamic from the sister's point of view. It was a little weird to me, so that was kind of a turnoff. Additionally, there's a AI within the game called Yuna who latches on to Kirito and Asuna. And there's like a whole parent dynamic. I didn't like that either because Kirito and Asuna are young, they're teenagers. And it was just like a little, just hearing mommy and daddy all the time from that little AI thing was just off putting to me. So as far as what I did like, I loved the pacing of Sword Art Online. That is, I will say I like season one more than season two, and that is one of the things that puts season one over season two for me. It is paced so well. It is, like I said, that story was moving. I mean, the game Sword Art Online is set up like floors. So you have to beat the floors and then beat the final floor, and then that's how you clear the game. And I mean, one episode goes by and it's like, okay, we've been here 6 months. You know, they're already up to like floor 50, and then time passes and it's 2 years they've been in the game, so it moves. There is like no waiting. So that is a big plus for me because I appreciate, arcs that take time to develop, but a 30 episode tournament arc just really does something to me. So the fact that SAO moves that quick was plus plus for me. There was no push and pull in Kirito and Asuna's relationship. So I don't treat this the same way that I treat a romance anime because it's not a romance anime. But as far as the romance aspect of it, there's almost always some type of, oh, does he really feel me like that? Or I'm not ready, pushing the guy away or pushing the girl away. But Kirito and Asuna get together, start planning the rest of their life together very quickly. Like there was none of that back and forth stuff. So I really appreciated that. And then I like that it didn't take away from the story. Like it becomes Kirito saving Asuna in the second part of the season is, becomes a major plot, but it just doesn't take over the story. Like it's still very much, role player virtual reality game. Like that adds to it. It doesn't just kind of erase the whole, do you remember how we logged in this game and we couldn't log out because we was gonna die? Like it doesn't take away from that. It enhances it. And I think that was done really, really well. And I like the story. I like the concept. I know, we have a lot of those thoughts, especially now with AI about them taking over, but it was cool to see this in an anime. It was sad that those people were dying in the game, but I thought it was very well done. So all in all, Sword Art Online season one was very good for me, 8.1, which is great. I will do a review for the rest of Sword Art Online in the coming weeks, months, however it may be. But this was actually, Sword Art Online was one of the first animes that I watched outside of Sailor Moon. So someone recommended this to me as well as another anime that I'll review later on. And this kind of got me started with watching things other than Sailor Moon. So this was a good one to watch if you like anime. It's not old, but it's older now. But the Sword Art Online universe is pretty expanded now with different seasons, movies, all kinds of stuff. So if you like action and you haven't seen this one by chance, I would definitely recommend it. And of course, as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what you want me to review next.